Hey guys, I'm the Bad Otter and I'm back with Venus in the Blind Spot from Junji Ito, the story compilation. We're more than halfway through the story. Man, are these things loaded. They have so many stories. I don't like necessarily the format that Junji Ito and his work is adapted over here in the States, but I do have an appreciation for the quantity of stories that is provided for the price that you're paying. Like I said, I got this from the library, but I believe here it is, $22 in the USA. You get who knows how many stories, and while they may be hit or miss, and I have my nuanced opinions on horror, they're definitely, you're getting your bang for your buck. So, this story is going to be The Licking Woman. Now, right off the start, the color palette. There's something about blue color palettes and blue tones in watercolors and acrylics and more animated styles of coloring that I really, really enjoy. Like, I could eat this stuff up. My favorite artwork is work that I look at and think, I want to eat that. I want to put that in my mouth. I want to consume it on a physical level. And oftentimes, it is blue work that appeals to me the very most. So that's just a little insight into what appeals to me as an artist. So it starts on a very human night, which we in South Texas can very much relate to. And this guy sees a really weird woman walking around, and she has this disgusting, nasty tongue, and homegirl just starts licking this guy up and down. And as is by the title, we get comedic timing and horror timing are almost on the same clock. So it's very much implied that she starts licking homie up and down right here, and as he gets back to his apartment, he's greeted by his very nice fiancée, and he's like, yo, this woman just licked me, and the dog starts licking him. And unfortunately, as is the case with any of these stories, he starts developing this terrible, terrible disease. The poor dog is foaming at the mouth because she licked him. And unfortunately, both the fiancé and the dog perish. I'm more sad about the dog. I mean, this guy, he had it coming. Probably. I don't know who he is. He had it coming. And on the next page, we're greeted with the full frontal tip. The full view of the licking woman's tongue. And it's this nasty thing with warts. It's unnaturally large, it's so slimy. She has these disgusting eyes, this very long, wiry hair, and she's going around the city on these humid, gross, uncomfortable nights that lots of people can relate to, especially people who don't live in humid environments that then visit human places that they're just like, oh, this is such a disgusting feeling. So credit to Junji Ito for trying to build an uncomfortable atmosphere in general, right? So really good there, and just the level of detail on this tongue, it's so sick. So in response to the growing attacks of the licking woman, they form a neighborhood watch where they're going looking for her, and they're gonna try to take her down because they figured out her weakness. A bottle of Ozarka water poured over the wound will make it clean. Pretty weak, definitely not city level of threat here. So the fiance goes looking for her because she wants vengeance on her. And she ends up getting right up on her, and of course she gets jumped, and by jumped I mean licked, and the tongue changes shape all the time. It's really nasty. But she licks, and then she takes off. But in her JoJo level of determination, she tackles her to the ground, and police capture her and put a gag, blindfold over her mouth. That's what we'll call it. And I found it interesting that as they arrested the woman, apparently her tongue wasn't there anymore. It's like, oh, the licking woman, her tongue is a normal tongue. We checked. So they're gonna let her out. And what I found interesting about this story in particular is it deals with the emotional effects of the licking woman on the main character, this woman here. I'm bad with names, guys. Where there's these moments where it shows her quivering in her room, thinking about being licked, and a very, what do you call it? A very psychological element to the story, a very deep characteristic, I can't speak, to the character of this girl, and dealing with the fact that this woman killed her fiancé and has now then traumatized her. So it's a very haunting aspect, is what I'm trying to say. A theme of something never really going away, even when it's all said and done. A lingering discomfort throughout the entire story, which I like that he put that in there. So she meets this girl at the bar, and the woman at the bar says, oh, actually, it happened to my fiance too, but if you put some cyanide on yourself and she licks you, you can kill her. And she's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Why do you have cyanide? And she says, I mean, come on. Anybody at a university works with cyanide. I should know. I went to a university. They have cyanide in every vending machine at the university. So, in her JoJo determination, she goes looking for the woman. She's very bare in terms of her getup. That way, there's plenty of space to lick for that woman. And she says, all right, you know, she comes up to me, and I'm just going to push through. And I like that element. I think that's why I like this story a little bit more, because I am a fan of the action, and a part of the action is overcoming and putting yourself in peril in order to overcome and get the job done. So lo and behold, she finds the woman, she pops the cyanide, the woman goes to lick her, and it's this very gross, uncomfortable scene until the woman chokes and dies, foaming at the mouth, in a very disgusting situation after literally sticking her tongue in the main character's mouth. Absolutely sick. I mean, this is one of the nastiest stories that I've read from Junji Ito. Until the tongue itself jumps out of the woman's mouth into the main character's mouth, causing her to spit it back out in a very disturbing, uncomfortable look. She vomits, she drinks water, she vomits again, and she's back in her room quivering. And as it happens, she never sees the girl from the bar again. The implication being the girl from the bar with the glasses is the licking woman. And she thinks, well, why would that happen? So eventually, as the years go by, as the months go by, this girl ends up being able to move on from the trauma, being able to move on from the incident. And she meets this new guy with a cute little dog. And eventually they fell in love, right? And he says, oh, yeah, me too. They kiss, and with the lingering thing of haunting and not being able to let go, and it following you to the bitter end, it jumps into both of their mouths in this nasty, uncomfortable situation, and kills them both, and hops away. Did he have to make it hop? Guys, listen. I'm no horror expert. The more that I read, the better that I get at writing a horror story. The fact that the tongue bounced away really, really takes away from the frightening aspect of it. Look at that. That's something out of a cartoon. That's something you watch in SpongeBob. That's not something that's supposed to scare the crap out of me. And it turns out they both die from cyanide poisoning. So the tongue has a vengeance and a mind of its own, which is probably why that woman wanted to die. She wanted to be put out of her misery, and that's the story. Interesting story. It was disgusting until the very end. Better than I could say for some of the other ones. So that was The Licking Woman from Junji Ito. The stories definitely have a roller coaster in them where I'm very engaged at some points and very disengaged at other points for really the same reasons. So I'm getting the hang of it. You guys are on the journey with me of learning how to appreciate horror and horror storytelling, so that way I myself can become a better writer and artist all around. So let me know how disgusted you guys were with this story. It was very entertaining. And honestly, despite me not being the biggest fan and not being able to latch on to horror the best compared to other people, I am thoroughly being entertained by this book, and I'm having a lot of fun reviewing it compared to some of the other things that I've reviewed lately. So, like I said, go check out my stickers on Instagram. Go check out my short story that I have. Links are going to be in the description. It's on Gumroad. No sign up required. No username required. Just $5 and the will and the belief and the trust in the Bat Otter that I won't disappoint you guys. So, I'll see you guys in the next video, and that'll be all.